Jacko sponsors the National League on BT Sport.
Hello and welcome to the Vanarama National League highlight show on BT Sport. Over the next half an hour, we'll bring you all the goals and the action from this weekend's games. Here's what's coming up. Clough does enough to keep Forest Green on top. High-flying Grimsby turned over on Tyneside. And Rovers hail Lord Norwood as Tranmere move back into the playoff spots. Forest Green Rovers overtook Cheltenham at the top of the table with victory at Southport in midweek. Adi Pennock's men have played a game more than promotion rivals Cheltenham, but were looking to build further momentum against Macclesfield at the New Lawn. They almost enjoyed the perfect start as January signing Brett Williams headed over. But it was John Askey's team that made most of the early running. Chris Holroyd's cross was glanced just wide by Danny Rowe, with defenders nowhere to be seen. They might have suffered back-to-back defeats, but Macclesfield looked in the mood. Danny Whitehead's shot was spilled by keeper Steve Arnold, but cleared to safety. The best the home side could muster in the first 45 minutes was this header off target from Curtis Guthrie, 0-0 at the interval. With 20 minutes to play, the deadlock was broken. Striker Kiefer Moore is currently playing as a makeshift centre-half for Forest Green. His poor back pass allowing Jack Sampson to put the visitors in front. Not long left for the hosts to respond, but respond they did. Elliot Freer's free kick turned in by James Jennings. 5 goals this season for Jennings, all of which have come at home. And having secured 3 points at Southport in stoppage time, Forest Green were at it again. Charlie Clough up from the back onto the score sheet in the 93rd minute. His first goal of the season, much to the delight of Pennock and his family.
Yeah, great result obviously. It was a tough game during the week where we played Southport and obviously left late there, but then the pitch at Southport was very heavy, so we made a couple of changes. We looked a little bit tired to be fair, but fitness levels and the spirit among the lads is fantastic, and it's a tough team to play, Macclesfield there. And disappointed we didn't score 2 or 3 set plays in the first half, but we've done that in the second half, so more than happy. It's a massive 3 points to us. To go right through January, playing 6 games and winning 6 games is a great achievement, and all credit to the boys.
Grimsby have fired their way into contention for automatic promotion after a run of 8 wins in 9 matches. And they were red-hot favourites heading to Gateshead, having not lost an away match since August. But the visitors were caught napping after just 3 minutes. There was nothing pretty about the approach play, but it was pretty effective. Patrick McLaughlin's header over the top, and Danny Johnson was first to react as he drove home his 7th goal of the season. 3 of those have come in his last 4 games. Paul Hurst's men probed for an immediate response. Another game of head tennis, this time in the Gateshead area, saw Padraig Amend head just over the bar. Grimsby came into this match as the top scorers in the National League, but it was beginning to look like they'd left their shooting boots in Cleethorpes. Omar Bogle's shot summed up a lacklustre first half. The pressure continued to mount after the interval. Gateshead's Alex Whitmore robbed a possession by Joe Nolan, who after twisting and turning was inches away from an equaliser. But the Grimsby goal was far from secure as Gateshead so nearly doubled their lead. Striker John Shaw stopped by the legs of keeper James McKeown. Bogle continued to threaten as he searched for his 12th goal of the campaign, but Gateshead goalkeeper Sam Russell was equal to him. Neil Aspin's side had numerous chances to make the game safe. CJ Hamilton proving a menace down the left, McKeown able to shovel the ball away. Time ran out for the visitors, who suffered just their 2nd away defeat of the season. A bad day for Grimsby, a great scout for Gateshead.
It's about the players. They've got a good spirit between them, and it showed that if you're going to get a result against Grimsby, you have to put in a lot of hard work, and they did that from the front through the midfield to the back. It was a real team effort today.
credit to Gateshead. They were the ones that got in front and then, worked very hard to make sure that we couldn't create many opportunities. I don't think there was a lot in the game, but from our point of view, certainly first half, we were a long way off of the levels that we expect.
Tranmere Rovers and Torquay United met for the first time in 11 years. Back then, it was a League One fixture. Now Tranmere are looking to bounce straight back into the Football League, while relegation-threatened Torquay are looking to stay in the National League. The home side do boast Premier League experience in Gary Taylor-Fletcher, and the 34-year-old showed the fans at Prenton Park just how much quality he has to offer. A sumptuous strike to open the scoring. Tranmere have a Lord in their ranks. James Norwood bought himself the official title in the summer for £35, and with 11 minutes to play, Lord Norwood of Hogan Manor doubled Rovers' lead with his 10th goal of the season. Gary Brabbin's team were made to sweat when Andre Wright's cross was converted by Sean Harrod on his Torquay debut. But it couldn't spoil a 5th win in 6 games for Tranmere, which lifts them into the playoff places.
It's always better when you're winning matches and you're going into games. So, we take every game as it comes, and we know we've got another tough game coming up. But hopefully after a good performance and a good win today, we can kick on from that.
Only 2 teams have managed to beat Cheltenham in 29 league games this season. A daunting task for Mark Goldberg's Bromley side, who enjoyed just 1 victory in their previous 9 matches. Cheltenham manager Gary Johnson had a home debut to new signing Dan Holman, who'd already registered 14 goals for Woking in the first half of the campaign, but none better than that one. A dream start in front of the home fans at Whaddon Road. Just 5 minutes later, Holman doubled his account for the hosts. His 16th goal of the season, 2-0 with just 25 minutes played. Danny Wright was the hero for Cheltenham's dramatic win at Dover last weekend. He nearly enjoyed another moment to savour, forcing a good save from Bromley keeper Alan Julian. But Wright was not to be denied, powering in Cheltenham's 3rd of the game as they look set to make it 17 matches unbeaten. The last time Johnson's players tasted defeat in the National League was back in September. Wright's goals have proved crucial during that run, Cheltenham's top scorer dispatching his 2nd of the game and his 14th of the season. They almost made it 5. Cameron Burgess signed on loan from Fulham, close to marking his Cheltenham debut with a goal. There wasn't to be a clean sheet though for goalkeeper Dylan Phillips. Bromley breaking away, Alex Wool with a fine finish. No more than a consolation for the visitors. Another 3 points for Cheltenham, with a performance very much to the manager's satisfaction.
We played our football today. It was better football, best football we've played for a little while. I know the conditions are not always easy to play football, but we played it in a way that we were moving as well, and I was pleased with that. And that's the best we played for a little while. So we were still getting the results previously, but I enjoyed the way we played today.
Eastleigh's trip to Wrexham back in September was the first game in charge for then caretaker manager Chris Todd. Eastleigh emerged victorious and have gone from strength to strength since Todd's permanent appointment, starting the day 4th in the table. Andy Drury's goals from midfield have led them to that lofty position. After 10 minutes, he struck his 8th of the season and surely the best of the lot. The fans in Hampshire had seen the sublime, but just 8 minutes later came the ridiculous. Wrexham left-back Sean Newton firing in the equaliser. Newton's first goal since scoring against Eastleigh at the racecourse ground, but goalkeeper Ross Flitney will surely feel he should have done better. By contrast, Wrexham stopper Rhys Taylor was having to produce his very best to keep the scores level. First, Taylor palmed away Josh Payne's volley before turning Qaid Mohammed's cross behind for a corner. The playing surface at the Silver Lake Stadium was doing neither side any favours, but Eastleigh was still impressing with their fluid football. Drury again ghosting in to head straight at Taylor. Todd's team again looked to Drury for inspiration after the interval. The captain trying to fashion another fantastic finish, but he couldn't outfox Taylor on this occasion. The visitors had won just one of their previous 6 and they were clinging on at times. Eastleigh's best opportunity falling to Jack Midson, who hammered over the crossbar. But with just a minute to play, Wrexham were given a golden chance to take 3 points back to Wales. Confusion between Flitney defender Will Evans led to Evans bringing Wes York down. Penalty to the visitors with 89 minutes on the clock. Captain Connor Jennings is Wrexham's top scorer, but his spot kick clipped the bar as the spoils were shared. In the circumstances, a disappointing draw for both managers.
We were working hard to get ourselves back up the league, and you know, those extra 2 points would have been lovely today. Travelling a long way back home, but not to be. And you know, we've got to build on what is a good away performance on an horrendous pitch, and a good point for us.
We had lots of chances, and just weren't clinical enough today. So a little bit disappointed that we haven't got the 3 points, but unbeaten again. You know, another draw. But we have to, as a group now, push on and start finishing teams off. It's
been a difficult one for all of us at Wrexham, and me as a manager. You know, I've been on runs that I haven't been on before. So we've had ups, we've had downs, we've had expectations, we've had a lot of negativity of you know, that there's nothing's going to happen this season, and you know, each game's different. So I know we can still achieve something. We're 6 points off the playoffs and 16 games to go. So I know we can achieve what we want to achieve. If we work like we've worked today and show that discipline and desire to win a football match, then we've got a chance. So we'll keep going. That's all I can say.
After their shock 3-1 loss to Altrincham on Tuesday, Woking boss Gary Hill looked to turn recent fortunes around against a Barrow side who've only won 1 in their last 5 fixtures. The game was delayed by 12 minutes though, when an assistant referee received a ball to the face in the 2nd minute and couldn't continue. After getting back to his feet, a qualified Woking fan stepped up to become the 4th official. Barrow looked lively from the start, and this shot from Jordan Williams was enough to trouble keeper Jake Cole. And in the 18th minute, the deadlock was broken. Woking's Scott Griffiths guiding a wonderful header into the net. Unfortunately, it was his own. But Griffiths had teammate John Goddard to thank 4 minutes later. He fired Woking level, making him the joint club top goal scorer for the season. A free kick from Danny Pilkington allowed Andy Cook to steal in past keeper Cole. Barrow have now scored in each of their last 14 matches, the longest current run in the league. John Goddard tried his best to drag the home side level again, but couldn't this time. And it was 8 minutes into the first half injury time when Griffiths atoned for his error, assisting Giuseppe Sol, 2-2 before the break. In the second half, Goddard again led Dave Symington a merry dance, but sadly couldn't guide his shot on target. Woking thought they had all 3 points in the bag when Sol rifled the ball into the back of the net, but it was chopped off for offside. A frustrating draw for Woking, who rest just below the playoff places by a single point.
Since Jim Harvey took charge of Halifax in December, they've turned their fortunes around, climbing out of the drop zone and coming into this game unbeaten in 9. Welling are hoping for a similar change in fortune after they sacked boss Louis Fazakerley last Monday. After a run of only 1 win in their last 13 matches, the job of manager falls to former coach Dean Frost. The weather didn't help a miserable first half, the best chance coming from a Richard Pennickett header, which goalkeeper Michael Rodak dealt with well. In the second half, the deadlock was broken. When Rodak couldn't clear, Kingsley James capitalised. That's 3 goals in his last 5. but Welling equalised in spectacular fashion with a wonder strike from Cadell Daniel. Levelling things in the 80th minute, a great effort from the former Woking player who only joined Welling earlier this month. Halifax kept the pressure on right till the end in the hunt for a winner, but Rodak kept Jordan Barrow at bay. A well-needed point for Dean Frost's Welling in their fight for survival.
Yeah, I was excited, to be honest. Mixed emotion, just quite excited, a bit nervous, a bit anxious, but all I said to the players is give me everything you got, and so they certainly give me that. Coming to a side that's in form. All I wanted is a reaction, regardless of the result. All I wanted is the lads to give me everything they got, or me and the assistant Barry Ashby give us everything they've got.
You know, we ended up with a draw. It keeps the unbeaten run going, but a little bit disappointed at home. You know, we felt that we should have had I think it's 2 points dropped for us today.
Chester travelled to the Avanti Stadium having won just one of their last 10 league appearances, whereas Braintree were coming into this game on the back of 5 consecutive home clean sheets. And their form became obvious when Braintree's Mark Phillips slid through to score his team's opener. Their attacking continued, and when a ball fell kindly for Matt Payne, he took full advantage to secure all 3 points for his side. Braintree move up to 10th, but having played the least amount of games this season due to a waterlogged pitch, we could see them climbing the table if victories as comfortable as this keep coming their way.
Chris Moyes' men were looking to end their worst run since 2011. Without a win in 10, they faced a Guiseley side playing in their 6th consecutive away match. Lincoln's hopes were given a boost after 26 minutes. Chris Bush headed home from a Greg Tempest corner to put his side 1-0 up, scoring his first goal since April last year. Looking for a second after a Lincoln free kick, centre-back Jamie McCune found himself out of his comfort zone, having 2 attempts before Bush finally failed to get it past goalkeeper Stephen Drench. In the second half, Lincoln's new signing James Caton impressed, going close as his effort rattled the crossbar. Finally, Adam Boyes slid the ball past goalkeeper Farman before being ruled offside. Much to the relief of the home fans and Chris Moyes, whose side record their first win at home since November.
One of Kidderminster's 2 wins this season came against Aldershot in November, so could history repeat itself and help caretaker manager Colin Gordon guide his struggling side to that elusive 3rd win? Well, they came closest to opening the scoring in the early exchanges. This shot from Arthur Ganua took a deflection and plummeted towards keeper Phil Smith, but he was alert to the danger. In the second half, the visitors' hard work was undone when Charlie Walker gave his side the lead. A well-taken strike from the club's top goal scorer, but that's only his 2nd goal in 13 appearances. Kidderminster pressed for an equaliser. Ganua threatened again, this time down the wing, but again the visitors failed to trouble Smith. The closest they got to level the match came at the end when Ben Whitfield broke free, but he could only send the ball flying over the bar. A performance that maybe merited more, but Kidderminster are now on their worst run of consecutive defeats since August 2012 and have relegation staring them in the face. So the big mover at the top of the table is, of course, Gary Brabin's Tranmere Rovers, edging their way into the playoff spot when it looked like their season was going off the rails before Christmas. 5 wins in their last 6 now, and Brabin will hope his side can climb even further. Forest Green still lead the way, though, closely followed by Cheltenham Town. Grimsby's hope of automatic promotion has taken a huge dent after their loss at Gateshead. Wins for Braintree Town and Lincoln City lift them up to 10th and 11th respectively, as Wrexham dropped to 12th. Aldershot with 3 3 wins on the bounce move closer to breaking into the top half of the table, but it's difficult to see how Kidderminster will get out of the trouble they're in, rooted to the bottom, 16 points away from safety. And no change in who's joining them at the minute. Torquay, Bournemouth and Welling United all down there. The Halifax move up to 19th on goal difference following their draw against Welling. Just enough time then to tell you about our next offering of live National League action. We're heading back to the New Lawn as league leaders Forest Green Rovers take on Grimsby Town on Friday the 4th of March.
Well, that's all we've got time for this week. Thank you for watching. We'll see you again very soon.
Jacko sponsors the National League on BT Sport.